Yeah, that should be a way. Yes, we are back. Yes, mic is on both ends, both fronts. Test one, two. Yes. So, thank you very much for joining me at Talk live on IG and YouTube, sponsored by Dun Talk. Right, we're back. Okay, ready to go. Sometimes I just don't know my order here. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean. It's we finally got there in the end. So let's discuss. Let's get at it. Not gonna waste any more time. In this day and age, we have a lot of modern women, a lot of women of certain status, certain class, saying that if they are not in a relationship, that a man could not handle them. Now, again, that is a wonderful way to say that they do not wish to be in a relationship because they haven't found the right man to be with them in a relationship, and they're all well entitled to, because this is a day and age of choice, and women are have the choice to do as they wish with it. But it is in a way a bit of a admonishing of men, thinking that men should be able to measure up to women. Men should be able to raise their standards and levels in order to date these women, and it's basically seen as derogatory for men not being able to handle women. Well, that's what this show is about. Because I keep hearing women say that they cannot handle men of a certain status, certain status, and it is up to men to measure up to meet that level of standard that women are looking for. But we're gonna get into it on Talk Live right here. Now, again, I may upset a few people with this, but I thought it is through this avenue, through this venue, that I was able to get onto this topic. And let's just reveal that right now. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live. And here we are. It is the one and only, the two and only Fresh and Fit. Now, this was something that happened last night, and one of the female panelists on the show, had this idea that men could not handle them, and we're just going to go through it right now. We're going to see how Kevin responds and how many other leading lights respond to the idea. So thank you very much for joining me on Talk live on IG and YouTube. Let's go into this.
Personality.
Yeah.
So you had charisma and charm.
Yeah, and I guess also because we were friends before, and it just happened organically. Because for me, it would always be based on looks more.
So he was handsome too.
No.
It's just how he made you feel.
Yeah.
We just said it was based on looks. When I was saying
no,
he's not
I'm saying he
good
wasn't good looking. Like for me, it was always about looks, but with him, it wasn't.
Okay. So he had charisma and charm.
Yeah.
That still takes personal development to do.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to argue here is that men have to bring something to the table. Women don't. Women can just exist. I mean, you said it yourself. Flutter your eyes and a guy will come up to you, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I argue that if in a happy relationship, 9 out of 10 times, the man is surprised because the woman doesn't feel like she can replace him. In a healthy relationship, the man has a leverage, not the other way around. I mean, some of you guys alluded to that before, right? Some of you guys that are a little bit older or maybe higher earners, you guys know the struggle of finding a man at your level, right?
Especially living in Miami.
Yep. And here's the other part that sucks, right? For you older ladies, right? You're 38, you're 30. You said that you want to be super successful with your production company. You do realize as you make more money and become more successful, it's going to be harder for you to find a husband, right?
If you think so, yes. Maybe the type of man that the audience that you have here, maybe, yeah, but...
It's not that I think so. It's literally the numbers.
The only men that want to date a woman that has more money than them is a bum.
That's true.
Someone said it.
It's true.
Oh, you snapped. True.
I mean, like realistically speaking, let's say you earn $100,000 a year, right? Let's say with your production company. Now, only about maybe 5 to 10% of men are suitable candidates for you.
Possibly, yeah. I mean, but it's not based on that. Like, I don't know. Again, you're bringing all this up. I'm not out here looking for a candidate right now. It's just not my focus.
No, and that's fine. That's fine. But what I'm saying is that when you do decide to find a man, it's going to be even harder for you because you're going to make more money and you're going to be older. And the same men at your level that make the same kind of money you do and are your age, they're going to want girls that are younger.
That's fine. They can go for the younger ones.
So are you content with the statistical, I guess, situation where you're probably going to end up single and childless and have a family? Are you okay with that? You're going to be alone?
In your eyes, I'll be alone. In my eyes, yeah, I'm a dog. I have my.
No, I mean you'll have to buy a dog.
I have one. It's
Okay.
fine.
Well, he'll stick around. I guess he'll be the husband. But what I'm saying is that as women get older and earn more money, their chances of finding a man drop down.
Weaker men, yeah, they can't handle a woman that has money. Yeah, they're like, oh god.
And there we're gonna stop. Because once a woman is critiqued to a certain extent for her dating choices. Now again, it's not all women, let me say that. There are a few women who can take criticism that can indeed, learn from a certain set of, descriptions and rules in order to, make themselves better women. They'll take constructive criticism and move forward. But once they're bombarded by facts, data, and statistics, a lot of women would push back. And this is an emotional pushback in which that women will automatically turn around and say, well, I can't find a man that can handle me. But, and again, to find a man who wants to handle you, are you an animal? Do you need a leash? Do you need to be put in a cage? Do you need to be put in a corner? Do you need to be sequestered? I mean, this whole sort of handling thing, it's sort of bestial in a certain way, and it's unnecessary. But again, it is an emotional pushback because, what Myron was doing at the time was he was pointing out certain statistics and certain facts that it wasn't that didn't favor this particular woman that we have here, or who was on the panel last night. And again, that was her pushback. But I think Myron and a few of my other intelligentsia who are on this subject are going to answer is the fact that, I mean, men for the most part don't want to be handling a woman. They don't need to handle a woman. They don't want to handle a woman because when you handle someone, as I said, it involves some sort of I wouldn't say bestial in this sort of sense, but it involves a certain masculine trait. And this masculine trait, unfortunately, is not appreciated by men because we don't want to date ourselves, in essence. So when a woman says that a man can't handle them, then we see that as a red flag. Most men don't want to handle a woman. They don't want to handle a woman because a woman as such is deemed as masculine, and we want to deal with feminine ladies. My lady in particular is a feminine lady. This lady in particular tends to be a little more masculine in her mannerisms. And there's a distinct retort from Myron for this, and it will be a theme for the rest of the night. So let's continue.
No, not someone that has money. I can't handle it.
Well, here's the thing. Why should a man have to handle a woman?
I don't know. You're the one asking me.
You just used that phrase yourself. I'm asking you, why should a man have to handle a woman, as you would say?
Oh, my God.
Men don't want to handle a woman.
I think men should.
They want.
You see, when a woman is actually pushed back on the subject and realizes that she made an emotional decision, she throws her hands in the air and basically is displeased with the fact that there's a pushback from a man. Because women usually don't have to usually confront male pushback on many a subject. A lot of women who rely on their good looks will allow for a man to be a bit passive, a bit more non-confrontational, and will wish to not push a woman on this issue. But men, I mean, if you are of a certain stature, in a certain status, and a certain level of life, you should be able to push a woman back on this. Because again, as was the topic of this conversation was, who is the in this context of the conversation, who is the prize? And Myron puts forth that it's men who are the prize in the relationship, and to a certain extent, I mean, to a certain extent, he is correct, because men have to be the breadwinners, men have to be smarter, they have to be stronger, they have to be basically providers, protectors and prophets. And if that and that's what women are striving for. They're striving for these certain high value men, or men of certain stature, certain status, and of a certain level of life, who are high achievers. And if you're a high achiever, then you are, you are successful in every metric, and more so than the women that you are with. So therefore, it's a case where you have to be one of the best, if not the best, in order for women to see you as, for women to respect you, and for women to, be proud of you and want to show you off to the world, quite simply. And, but in this instance, in which women see themselves as wanting to be handled, and if you offer them pushback, then you start seeing a woman recoil and get in a way and not really wish to back a statement up. See, if a man makes a statement as such, he has no choice but to back it up. He has to. It's a part of being a man. If you make a statement, you got to back it up. With the women, there's a lot of irresponsibility and lack of. For a lot of women, I'm not saying that most women don't take responsibility for their actions, but in a lot of cases, women don't. They don't take responsibility. And in this instance, a woman is not willing to back up her statement of wanting to be handled. And once they're pushed back in a corner, then they start freezing up and they get frazzled. But let's continue this conversation.
You think they should handle a woman? Why?
Because, if the man's a leader, he would know how to, rule
So you
the
think the man should be in
relationship.
control?
Most definitely, but women in other ways, we could plan, agendas and things of that nature. But when it comes to, making money and stuff, or, making plans, I should be a man's.
Who thinks men should handle women? Yeah, who
Lead the
who agrees with that
relationship?
sentiment? With her in the corner.
wait.
You
No,
agree?
slide backwards.
Who else agrees with that? You're the one that brought it up.
I
You
mean, how
agree?
does it sound for a woman to handle a man? I'm gonna handle you. That doesn't even make sense.
But your man should
It
lead
does
you,
sound
not handle you.
Maybe that
Is
came
it
out wrong when I
manhandling?
said it. I don't think that's what I meant.
Well, that's what you said.
What did I say? How did it come out? How did it come out? What did I say?
You said, "Wow, I have to repeat what you said yourself to you."
Please do. Yes.
Are you not in
In fact, do
control?
you think a man is
Are you
in
not
control?
do you not know what you say, or not have a
I'm
grasp
just
of what you say?
asking what? How did I say it back?
You quite literally said,
So here's the thing with that, people. It's what Kevin Samuels used to say all the time. Accountability is like kryptonite to a woman. Now, to some women, that's not the case, but to a lot of women, it is. To a lot of women, it is. Women do not wish to be accountable. So when pushed back on the issue and realizing she is in the wrong, she wants to now fade into the woodwork and saying, I don't know what I said there. Oh, somebody help me. But the fact of the matter is, if any man, as what we pointed out here, if any man made a statement to which they do not wish to claim responsibility, they'd be considered as in cloud cuckoo land. They'd be considered certified nuts. They would be not one of, they would not be considered a man of his word. There it is. And so, if it's the old saying, say what you mean and mean what you say. In this instance, she said what she meant, but she didn't mean what she said. And that's what puts her into an issue. But the bigger context thing is, men do not wish to handle women. That's the overarching theme tonight. Men don't want to handle women because men do not want to date themselves. Men do not want masculine women. Ladies, take this for gospel. Men do not wish to have masculine ladies. 95% of the male population anywhere in the world do not wish to have masculine women. And even if men do wish to have masculine women, chances are they are ones not to be highly revered by these women. There it is. Or they just want a headache for a lifetime, to which no men want. Anyway, speak to you.
I make money. A man can't handle that. That's what you said, basically summarized.
No, I didn't say a man can handle that.
Holy wow.
Said if there's a man
Oh my
with a
God.
certain mindset, like that thinks, I don't know why a man would be like, oh no,
He might hurt his ego.
this woman makes money. I can't
It's a social thing.
I can't
Handle
equal
her is
that.
what you were basically
Okay, I
saying.
didn't mean handle.
A higher earning woman,
Sorry,
why should a
people.
man have to, you
Didn't
say,
mean- wrong
he can't
word.
handle me.
He can't. Maybe
And they're
he
weaker.
feels he can't be equal, so maybe he wants to go for someone that might make less money.
What if I told you a guy that is
Again, she's befuddled. She doesn't wish to stand on her statement, and the fact of the matter is, no man can do that. They can't. They can't literally. They can't make a statement and then back off it. If a man says something, he has to stand on it, or else he's not considered a real man. Simple as that. He isn't. And we know the repercussions of what we say. That's why we choose our words wisely. That's why we're logical to a fault. We have to be, because if we say something, then we have to back it up. Life treats us differently than women. In this instance, my panelist said something, but didn't choose to back it up. Didn't want to back it up because she knows there are repercussions to what she had to say. Men don't have that choice. That's why we choose our words wisely. But we continue.
superior to, he makes more money, he's probably still gonna not want to handle you, as you would say, because why should a man have to handle a woman who's already got to go out into the world
Again,
and handle life?
handle could have been the wrong term. Clearly, that's why I said, wait, what did I say? Because I did not mean for it to come.
That's a key term that was missed in that whole equation, is that men have to go out and face the world, which is cruel. For a man, it is very cruel. A man has to make his way in the world. And if he can't make his way in the world lets him know of it. If a man is a loser, the world will let him know he's a loser. And quite simply, if he has to go out and face the world and handle the world as rough and as rude and as cutthroat as it is, he doesn't want to come home and face a lady who's masculine. He wants his woman to be his peace. Full stop, end of sentence. Are you, I ask you ladies out there, are you your man's peace? Are you your man's peace? Or does a man have to handle you? If a man has to handle you, quite simply, he doesn't want to be around you. That's why you find a man wanting to take off from place to place and not be around you, because they don't want to handle you. Because you have these masculine traits that these men, most men, don't want. Do not want. So the worst thing you could say, ladies, is for a man to handle you. A man can't handle you. Excuse me. Because at the end of the day, you're only showing your true colors to a man, and no man wants to deal with you. You're considered persona non grata, meaning we'd rather deal with ourselves than deal with you. We'd rather go somewhere else, do something else, do anything else than to be with you.
That way. So, yeah.
Are you not aware of what you're saying and the statements that you're making?
But wouldn't a woman of status
This is
have
what I'm
like
trying to
those
say. Like,
inner-
no offense, right? I'm gonna be brutally honest here.
Please do.
You're fairly incompetent.
Like,
And
sure.
yeah, I mean, you make statements and don't even remember what you're saying and can't even
I'm
recall
asking
little
you.
data,
Yeah.
right? I have to go ahead and re-say back to you what you said and then summarize it for you when it was what you said. But you're able to be so because you're a female. If I was a guy with this level of incompetence, I'd be struggling through Earth. I wouldn't be able to make it. Like, I would literally get no dates, no food, no food. I'd be fucking struggling. But you're able to get by because you're a female. And I'm sure there's plenty of guys that'll line up to date you even though you're 30 and don't even remember what you said 10 seconds ago.
Probably.
But women are able to get by. This is my point. So who really is the prize? I think the men are. Women can make it through life and be fairly retarded and still make it.
Just back
If
your
they're pretty
eyes.
enough.
There it is. Women can get through. A lot of women can get through life on easy mode. A lot of ladies can be absolutely doornail dumb and yet live a high value lifestyle. Literally on their looks. They don't have to be smart. Men have to be competent. Men have to be smart. Men have to have a modicum of common sense, or else life treats them differently and negatively. Women can literally not know the thinnest thing about life, but yet they have a certain amount of looks, they can get by. As long as they're submissive, they can get on with life. Men can't do that. We can't do that. Life treats us differently if we do that. And that's why I say it's lucky to be a lady, because he's right. Myron's right in this instance. It's lucky that this lady's a lady, because the answers that she gives, if a man said these certain things, he'd be considered a fool and laughed out of a room. Because men are highly critical of themselves. And if there's any moment of weakness, it's pounced upon. And epitaphs are written before the ink is dry on the page. A man with this a line of argument would be laughed out of a room. Especially if he's befuddled and can't back up his statements. That's why men have to be careful what they say. Women, not so much. And here's the reason. Because, there's zero accountability, so they can just slide off and slither away into the wilderness. But there you go.
Just
That's
that's
right.
right. That's it.
If this doesn't prove female privilege and entitlement in modern day society, I don't know what does.
Gotta pat your eyes.
Like, incredible.
But
man.
ladies, be honest though, you want to date a guy that's dumb? You don't want to.
Absolutely not.
What's the point? So some more chat.
So I will leave that there with Fresh Fit. That's just opened up our comment, our talk right here. But now we're gonna go into again. We're gonna go to a lady who I do not subscribe to anymore. A lady who has shown her true colors, and I don't like the sight of them, quite simply. But in this instance, she has something to say. Actually, she had a guest on the show and something to say, and we had talked about this on Talk Live a few months back. I think it was in December, January, anyways. I think it's one of those Christmas. Yes, I think this was a Christmas special. We're talking about Just Pearly Things. We're just talking about the Andrew Tate special that received a serious amount of views. So again, kudos to Just Pearly Things for setting that up and to making that a total success. I think it's up near 5, 6, 7 million views on the internet, on YouTube, which is nuts. But the man has something to say, and it was a very, very it was an excellent show, and we covered that, I think, in 3 parts on Talk Live, because it was that good. It was that good. But I'm just going back to it in terms of discussing this point of a woman who needs to be handled, because we have this lady who appears on the screen right now, if you see me on Talk Live on YouTube, named Denalva. Actually, let me just check to see if there's any comments on the on Talk Live thus far. No, we're good to go. Yes, so as I was saying, oh shoot, go back to the browser here. Here we go. Yes. Okay, here we go. Now, yes. So we go back here to Denalva, and she's one of the contributors to the show, Just Pearly Things, and she was speaking to Andrew Tate about her dating prospects and how she can find a man, because she is so difficult. It's so difficult to her because of, well, I'll let her point it out to you right now. Hold on.
Find a husband, the kind of beast that can handle a woman like me.
This is another point, right?
And if you didn't catch that, she wants to find a man who can handle a woman like her. Now, let's just go back a little bit further, because she does lead into this quite, well, in her own special way. Some say ingratiating, some say grating. But anyways, let's go.
People lang got 3 degrees. Now I forgot.
What is she trying to say? You're not smart.
It's okay. I speak how I do for a reason. So please, sir, can you help me out? I'm trying to find a husband, the kind of beast that can handle a woman like me.
Well, this is another point, right? And I'm only answering generally, right? Because this is the first time I've met all of you ladies. You've all been very polite to me. You've all been very nice. I'm just talking generally. And I'm going to answer it based on your last sentence. Your last sentence was handle a woman like me. Let's look at the average man's life, like I just discussed earlier, how difficult it is, how competitive he has to be, and how many problems he has to fix. Do you think he wants to handle any woman?
Okay, so
Do you, like the idea of any degree of problem? It's the straw that breaks the camel's back. Like the point of having a woman as a man, for me at least, is for her to be my peace and quiet. My life is stress. You see me, I'm rolling around with fucking security teams, and I got problems, and they're after me, and when I come home to my chick, the last thing I want to do is have to handle anything. I want her to just sit the fuck down and her make me happy. She used to be my positive energy. She used to be my sunshine in the rainstorm.
Okay.
So you're talking about him handle you. I don't know. I can't answer the question exactly, but if you're sitting there constantly arguing over small points or correcting him, he's probably thinking, this is a battle. I don't have the energy for another fight.
okay, so now let me.
Good point, Andrew. Very good point, and that's what most men would answer, because most men do not want to come home to fight their mate on different subjects. A man wants a woman to be his peace, his solace, his muse, where he can regenerate for the battles to come. He doesn't want to handle a woman. He doesn't want to put a leash on a lady. Unless she is into that sort of thing. But no, she doesn't want to be he doesn't want to be put into said position, because he already has to deal with that in the outside world. He already has to fight dragons outside of his doorstep. So why would he want to come home and handle a woman? Why? Why would he want to face someone like himself, masculine? Why would he want to do that, ladies? Ask yourself that question. Why would a man want to face himself at home? He wants someone feminine. He wants someone fit. He wants someone friendly. He wants someone cooperative and submissive. There it is. But remember, he wants someone feminine. That's one of the first things there. He wants someone feminine. And to handle someone that's not feminine. That's not feminine at all. To be handled. Handling means aggressive. Handling means animalistic. Handle means to be sequestered. He doesn't want to sequester a lady. He wants his lady to be as free and as feminine and as friendly as possible when he gets home. He wants him to be his peace, yes. Sex and with silence. That's the way to a man's heart. For you to want to be handled at home, he'd rather do it elsewhere. And he'll find it. And he'll find such peace elsewhere as well. He'll find it there. He won't find it with you. He'll find it somewhere else. Especially if he has the financial wherewithal to do it. Like my man, Mr. Tate.
Add extra context to what I mean as well. So obviously submission is something that people talk about a lot.
Yeah.
For me, I'm a logical person, I believe, and I submit with logic. I don't submit by default because there's a level of respect that I believe I need to have to be able to submit. Obviously, it's not that I go around and I disrespect all men and everything, but I find that my level of
You didn't catch that. Hold on, let me rewind that one bit there.
My level of thought process, a lot of the times.
Oh, back up.
Level of respect that I believe I need to have
Yes.
to be able to submit. Obviously, it's
I
not
agree.
that I go around and I disrespect all men and everything, but I find that
See, she just threw that in there, and you didn't catch it, but I caught it. She goes around and disrespects men and all that. Is she proven to be a catch or what? Even in this instance, Miss Brittany Renner doesn't want to have to deal with her. She's a bit of a nightmare to deal with. Even as a woman, she doesn't want to deal with her. She actually she told on herself and said, I go out there and cause chaos to men. Literally. I cannot believe she actually said that. That nearly flew over my head, but I caught that time. She goes out there and causes chaos. What man wants that? Would Andrew Tate want that? Hell no, because she's trying to play for Andrew, believe me. But Andrew doesn't want any part of her. Number one, in the looks department. Number two, in the attitude department. Andrew would have picked up on that quick statement. He said, nah, you're not for me. You're a bit of fun. You're a bit of a good time girl. But other than that, don't want to deal with it. Nope. If you're out there causing chaos to men, I do not want this. Do not want it. Who would? What man would? Just say it.
that my level of thought process, a lot of the times,
It makes it hard. No. So I know what you're trying to say.
yeah, thank you.
You know, but you need to find a man you truly respect to submit to him,
Yeah.
and I completely respect that. And that's the same with 99% of women. Like you're never going to submit to a man you don't respect. And respect is ultimately important because you're not going to sleep with a man you don't respect. You're not going to be attracted to a man you don't respect. Respect is the bottom line of it, and the man has a job to do. He has a duty to do to be worthy of respect. But this all goes back into a very interesting point. Some of the points I've kind of mentioned earlier. If I was a woman, if I was a chick, the chance of me ending up in a relationship with a man I don't respect is 0%. I don't understand how you girls end up. Well, I do understand how you girls end up here. You end up here because of feminism, promiscuity, promises that running around taking dick is fine, dumb shit, stupid decisions. I'm independent, so it doesn't matter that he's a dummy. Bunch of garbage. When you should be waking up going, you know what? I'm going to be extremely selective, and I'm going to take my time and be very, very smart because you're the gatekeeper. By the time you're in a relationship with somebody, you should have immense respect for that man. Absolute immense respect. You shouldn't be able to get there any other way. The only reason you got there is because you've been tricked by society and lied to and told a bunch of fucking bullshit. So, so you're talking about submission and respect. Yeah, it'll come when you meet the right man, naturally. And this is another point I make because I have a lot of men message me. I trust guys. Please understand, the most Googled man on the planet. I have 100,000 emails a day from people, and I get dudes email me. How do I get my woman to submit? And I don't reply to. I can't reply to all the emails, but if I ever read them, I'm like, bro, you're a fucking dork. Why would she reply to you? Why would she submit to you? You're a fucking nerd. That's the truth. I'm not out here saying submit to all men. Men are the boss. I'm saying, listen, there's natural balance in the universe. When you meet a G, I've never had trouble with a woman obeying me. She just wants to. It's natural for our dynamic. If she didn't want to obey me, we wouldn't even get to the point of a relationship. If she didn't feel like she wanted to listen to me, we would have never got to where we want to get. It just doesn't work. That shit only happens when the female's fucking giving up sex too easy and the dude's just picking up easy pussy and they end up in some bullshit relationship that don't even like each other. That's dumb shit. That's dumb shit, right? But I don't have any of these problems in my life. And if you're a dude at home and you're watching this and you go, I want my woman to submit, and she doesn't, guess what? She doesn't respect you. And guess whose fault that is a lot of the time? Your fault. That is your fault as a man.
Yes.
Well, allow denial of that bit of victory there. But what Andrew said is right. What Andrew said is absolutely right. Men have to play a part in disallowing themselves to be finding a woman that they need to handle. And is that if we are the best males possible, if we are the best men that we can be, you don't have to handle a lady. You don't have to handle a lady. A lady will want to submit to you. She'll want to submit. She'll want to do it. Because she loves and respects you for who you are and what you do. So we have a part to play in this as well. I mean, women, yes, the whole handle issue, yeah, that's an issue. that's a problem that men wish to avoid. But at the end of the day, what makes it easier to avoid as well is how men position and condition themselves overall. Are they taking care of themselves? Are they bettering themselves in the financial aspect? Are they bettering themselves in the gym? Are they smelling right? Are they looking right? Have they taken a look at their haberdashery? Have they done all the necessary things to make themselves the best male they can be? And if you have, chances are you don't have to handle women. Chances are you don't have to handle them. As Andrew Tate eloquently put, they'll want to submit. You don't have to handle anything. That's why it's important for a man to work on his purpose, work on himself to make it easier to not have to handle women at all. So we have a part to play in this, guys. We do. We literally do. It's not just a lady's attitudes that we have to dismiss. That is one aspect of things. But again, if you're a man who's on his purpose, on his grind, who's doing his thing, and a woman understands this, then you don't have to handle them. Then those selective women, those women that you want, will want to come to you in a submissive way. Let's continue.
It is.
Yes.
No, it is.
Yes.
No.
That's what you guys need to damn here tell him.
But it's not about blaming men and women because everyone has a problem. But then there's also men who are worthy of respect who women refuse to respect
True.
because of society.
Tell the
So
sisters
there's two sides to it, right? But a lot of it is if you're a capable enough man and you're brilliant enough, then the female has no choice. But it's very interesting. This goes back into a point I made earlier about how important it is for us men to find women who we don't believe have had a lot of life experience and look like they are. Because I got attacked. I'm going to make this point right now. I got attacked when the Matrix attacked me and fucking lied about me. They said that men are interested in women who are younger because they're more programmable. And that they're trying to make out that I'm making out that men are out here trying to get women and fucking do bad things to them. No. What I'm saying is, if you find a woman who's younger and been through less things, less trauma, less relationships, less headache, she's lived less life, your ideals, if you ask any woman who loves her man, what's your favorite song? His favorite song. Who do you vote for? Who he votes for? What's your favorite car? His car. That's how it happens when a woman loves a man. And that makes the man feel good, right? If she's been through too much shit, then that's a lot harder to pull off. So that link is very important for men and women. But, so yeah.
And he's absolutely correct in that saying, in a sense that if you've been through a lot of trauma, ladies, and if you need to be handled, you need to seek therapy. You need to seek therapy. Because no man's responsible for what you've gone through in life and how you've lived through things. Men should not have to revisit and counsel you through your issues. You should become fully healed to the man that you love and respect. So if you need to go and get that therapy, if you need to get yourself out of that dating market and get yourself together, do it. So you don't have to be, so that men don't have to handle you. So that men don't have to handle you. Handle yourself. Get the therapy you need. Make sure that you are fully healed so that you can be the fit, feminine, friendly, cooperative, and submissive person, the best person you can be to find the man you want. Because it's all about you. You select, and you are the one who chooses who you wish to submit to, who you choose to be agreeable with. Because again, to explain to ladies, submission and agreement are synonyms. They're synonyms. Okay? They're one and the same meaning. Okay? Just letting you know. But yes, if you are such a lady who needs to be handled, number one, shouldn't be taking on so many masculine traits. Number two, find yourself that therapist, find yourself that matchmaker, find yourself that image consultant, find yourself that femininity coach that will extract you from being handled allow you to exist in your feminine if you haven't been taught that. That is, if you haven't been in a two-parent household, really. Because being in a single mother household, you're at the mercy of flights of fancy and emotional outbreaks and emotional outbursts that will not, well, that men don't find attractive. That's it. But if you've been in a two-parent household, the fact of the matter is, and a woman and the mother, your mother, has been able to impart the feminine coaching you need. That's all. You're ahead of the game. But if you haven't, seek out that femininity coach. Do the work at home so that you don't need to be handled, ladies.
Yeah, the Matrix attacked me with that, but it's very, very interesting. You have to understand all these small sub-dynamics and why things are happening and why the world is the way it is. And the baseline of it is that everything's fucked. Men aren't acting like men and women are acting like women, and it's all messed up.
Oh yeah.
Wait, so what about like your own autonomy and like just like you can your favorite car is your favorite car, my favorite car is my favorite car. Like why does it have to?
Okay,
I guess that's where I'm
Is it
confused. Like why?
agreeableness?
Why does it have to be like that?
Yeah, and that's a good point, right? I understand that completely, but I'll give you an example. I'll talk from personal experience because it makes it easy for me. I have a bunch of cars. I love cars. I have 32 cars. My favorite car is X. I pick up a chick. This is my what's your favorite car? This one. I like that one. I'm like, all right, cool, whatever, no big deal. But the agreeableness is ultra attractive. It depends what the woman wants to do, right? If I was a woman, and let's say I'm 22 years old and I meet a billionaire, and it's my goal to marry this man.
Sorry.
I go to his house and I say, "Wow, you have so many cars. What's your favorite car?" This one. Really? I thought that one too. It looks so good. Why that one? Because this. Oh, really? Okay, I'll try and remember that. That's how you get the dude, right? You don't get the dude by going, "Well, that one's a better color. You're a dickhead." It may be small things. It may be tiny things, but men are ultra interested in things like agreeableness.
So
we're ultra interested in the idea of a woman absorbing our worldviews. We're ultra interested. We are. That's what we're looking
What
for.
if you
That's
say,
taken away
wait,
from the woman's
what-
identity,
wait,
though.
what if you
because
say-
she doesn't like the car?
No,
So
wait.
why should she agree to a car that she doesn't like?
She
Why do you want to be with someone
she doesn't
that
have
doesn't
to
know
agree.
who they are?
She doesn't have to agree.
Can I say, oh,
I'm
I like
telling you what
this
the
one.
man wants.
This is my favorite, but I
it's
like
more
yours
like-
too.
it's-
Yours is quite
So-
nice, you know.
As Andrew Tate said, he's giving ladies the blueprint in how not to be considered ones to be handled. And then again, I forget her name. I do apologize. The lady on the other side, I forget her name. Do mention it in the comments. She literally says, "Why does a man have to do this? Why can't a woman be able to choose and such?" Because that's part of being that handled woman. He can't handle you. He can't handle decision making as such. If you want to adhere yourself to a man you love and respect, and wish to be submissive to, ladies, that's strike one in terms of being one who needs to be handled. Is that you have your preferences, fine, but sometimes you need to reach compromise in order to curry his favor, in order to get his backing. Once you're too disagreeable, said, "Oh, I like A and you like B. I like C and you like D." That's being disagreeable. That's being wanting to be handled. That's being contrarian to a fault. And when you're contrarian, that means that you are masculine in trait and you wish to be handled. No man wants a woman that he needs to handle. She should be able to handle herself in a feminine respect. Just the way as a man should be able to handle himself in a masculine way. Sorry, ladies. Disagreeableness is... Being disagreeable is the same way as wanting to be handled. Instead of going with the flow, you rather go against the grain. Why? man want to have a woman who's going to disagree with him all the time when he comes home. He doesn't want to debate anyone when he gets home. He's done that on the road already. He's done that throughout his day. Now he wants to come home and find his peace. Why does he want disagreement with his woman? Why does he want someone who needs to be handled? Are you getting this, ladies? Are you getting this? I'm getting it from the best here. That's what we do here on Talk Live. Thank you for joining me on Talk Live, live on IG and YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Sponsored by Duntalk, DUNTALK.com. Spring Summer line out now.
Actually, now that I'm looking at it, it's quite good. But I like this one, but I like that one as well.
You said like you want a slave.
Is
Like
that
someone
fine?
that doesn't have their own mind.
That's just not going against me. It's just being nice. It's not. It doesn't cost you much.
It's like, yeah, you can say,
When you hear a woman who says she doesn't want to be a slave, and that she wants her own mind, she basically is one who needs to be handled. He can't I need to be handled. And if you want to be handled, guess what, my dear? You're not going to find a man for a while. And if you do, you're not going to be one, you won't respect him at the end of the day. You won't. Because all we're going to get is mouth. And one thing that men do not want to come home to is, contrary to popular opinion, and I don't want to take my mind into the gutter here, but a woman's mouth. Don't want to do it. Don't want to do it. Rather not. Rather not. Especially one who is disagreeable and needs to be handled. Needs a muzzle put over it. Sorry. Don't mean it in those derogatory terms, but I'm just, you know. But that's what happens. We don't want, we see you as a lady. We don't want to see you as someone to be handled. Somebody put on, someone needs to be restricted. Someone with animalistic traits that, if let loose, can cause havoc. We don't need that as men. Ladies should be our muse, not our headache.
Men don't want a girl that's nagging on them for the smallest things. It's like, why are you giving a guy a headache over a car?
That's not nagging. That's not nagging, though.
He's saying, oh, what car do you like? Why does she have to say his car? Like, she likes a different car.
I just gave you a solution, though.
I am talking about how, as a female, to be as attractive as possible to men. Now, I'm not saying you can't get a man if you say another car. I'm saying, how do you be as attractive as possible? Because
Be
you
nice about it.
because you also don't understand how men think. It's different if you come to my house and choose to like another one of my cars. But what if I only have one car? And now you say, well, no, I picked you up in my BMW. Oh, yeah, it's nice. I prefer Mercedes. You know what a man thinks the second you say that? Who picked you up in a Merc? That's the first thing that goes to his fucking mind. How do you know about Mercedes?
What
Who
if
put
you
you in a
can
fucking
buy
Merc?
your own Mercedes?
That's not what crosses the man's mind. I'm telling you how men think.
But then that's why. And that's why.
Denova,
Yes, sorry.
what percent of women can really afford their
Bro,
Mercedes?
yeah, especially when you go crazy.
No, guys.
Again, I'd rather not listen to Just Pearly Things. I'm just here for the banter and the really, really and truly. She has no real life experience, as Abin and Preach has said. And I'm just here for what Andrew Tate has to say rather than what Just Pearly Things has to say, quite simply. Anyway, we continue.
I said a Mercedes. I said, what percent of women?
I drive a BMW.
I said, okay,
Sorry,
I'm really happy.
This is, see, her attitude herself. Sorry to say, even Just Pearly Things doesn't want to handle that woman. Doesn't want to handle her. That's a typical example of a woman who needs to be handled. No man wants to handle her. No man wants to deal with her. If you're that turtle lady right now, please check yourself. Please seek help. Do the Michael Jordan thing. Do the Michael Jordan mean thing, please. or the gift thing. Anyways, do that. Because a woman who is disagreeable as her, as she is, that's a woman who needs to be handled. Men don't want that. I'll tell you that right now. If you want a typical example, look no further than the woman on your right. That's the woman who needs to be handled. Loud, obnoxious, disagreeable, attention seeking. A simply terrible attitude that no man wants to deal with. Even Aunt Jenny can't deal with her anymore. And that's a woman. That's the woman on the left, mind you. Let's continue.
What percent of women? I said, okay. I'm really happy for you. I'm really happy for you. I said, the average woman makes $35,000.
Okay, we're gonna stop it right here. Oh, does he have anything to say here? Because I just want to speed by just pearly things. Because quite simply, yeah, we're done here. Yeah, thank you very much. Well, we thank Andrew Tate for that. He gives us some sound advice because as soon as Just Pearly Things have to speak, well, quite simply, she has no leg to stand on, and a lot of men have fallen on the, who have been duped because of it, and including myself, but not anymore. Anyways, we move on to the woman who she sees as her teacher, her prophet, her influence, her inspiration to the whole Red Pill gang, and that is the Godfather himself, R.I.P. The anniversary of his passing is, well, it's coming up quite swiftly. I think it's within the next 2 weeks. Kevin Samuels died almost a year ago, if you can believe it, but there you go. The Lord saw fit for him to be taken away from us, but he left us with so much, and again, he's a part of pop culture now, to be fair and frank. But anyways, Kevin went in depth on this subject in his talk about why men aren't handling women's ish today. Why men do not choose to handle a woman, a modern woman, in 2022 then, and 3 even now. Let's get into it.
So, we're here today talking about how modern men today, especially men of value, and ladies, you need to understand something. There is a difference between men. Guys, keep that like button up. Keep the engaging up. Ladies, there is a difference between men. There is a difference between men who are in process, and shout out to my Henrys in training, the Hit Squad, my 18 to 30-year-old dudes. Keep your head down, keep grinding. You already got the video for you guys there. That's the prescription. But from when you hit 30 to 35 and you're deciding lion or tiger, you're deciding refined rake road, you're deciding, you're out of the Esquire phase in life. And you're either into the playboy phase, or you got to decide where you want to get to. But here's the ultimate part. There's going to be women involved, and this is where women need to understand. Today, so many women want men to be able to quote unquote handle them. I'm strong. I'm educated. I'm a PhD. No, men of value ain't handling shit. Ladies, let this be your wake-up call. Men ain't handling ish today. Far too many women think that men have to go out here and make themselves the best version of themselves, and then these very men got to turn around and figure out your code. I can't tell you how many beautiful, attractive women I have met who are smart, business mind, look incredible bodies, but they are they don't bring peace. As a female, your number one job is to bring a man peace, and you don't bring a man peace by pissing him off.
Did you hear that, ladies? Did you hear that? I know you like to dance to on his grave, but you'll never get that opportunity now because it's a part of pop culture. But what he says is true. Men want a woman to be a man's peace and not to piss him off. When he comes back to you, he wants someone with whom he can find solace, with whom he can find a safe place to land, a place of rest, a place of contentment, and not a place of indifference and another battle on his hands. He doesn't want a battle axe, ladies. And you know what buttons to push to make yourself that battle axe. Kevin said it himself. A man of a certain stature, a certain status, don't want that. No man wants that. None. I don't care if you're the richest of the rich, if you're a high value man, flying high, or if you're a working man. No man wants it. None. Let it be known. None. Zero. Zip. Nada. When I come home to my lady, I gotta give her props. I find peace with her. Well, yeah, I do. No, I do. I find peace and contentment with her. And that's what most women want. Side job, baby. And that's what most men want. The question is, can you ladies provide that? 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Can you provide that? Most of you cannot. I understand that. But it's how you do it. It's when you do it that matters. When a man comes home and you confront that man, as I said in that show on Talk Live about women abusing men, that's a woman that needs to be handled, and no man's taking that. I don't care what age, I don't care what social status that man may be. No man wants that. Especially high value men. They will have you out of there quicker than you can say quick.
Far too many women today, you don't know how to even handle or control yourselves, so you're thinking that job should be handled by the man, and if a real man can handle it. No, men ain't handling shit today. And I'm telling you, it's not just the men up here, the high value guys. It's no men are just time out for men handling anything. If a man needs to handle you, go get a woman. If you as a woman say that a man needs to handle you, go get a woman. If you as a woman are saying that, what do you bring to the table? I'll bring everything, I'll do everything, and all you got is a bunch of questions, go get a woman. So many women today recognize this modern stuff is not working. And then they're trying to come over to men, asking men, well, how do we fix it? Hell no. It is for you to figure out the combination to us, not us to figure out the combination to you.
That's a revelation, isn't it, ladies? That you have to make yourself amenable to the man you want in your life. Can you do it? Can you literally do it? Instead of asking, again, instead it to a certain extent, especially if we're in the mood to, to have said discussions. But for the most part, we don't want to be quizzed that much. Our deeds should speak to that effect. That should be enough. That should be enough. Yet, a lot of women think they have license to ask 20 questions. 2 is great. 3, 4, 5, okay, we'll allow that. But 20 questions, no. A man doesn't want to have to come back to that because we've already faced that during the day, where questions are asked of men day in, day out. They don't want to come back and answer 20 more questions. Press conference is over. Questions have already been answered. What we ask for you is, are you prepared to ask questions yourself? Are you willing to be fit, feminine, friendly, cooperative, submissive? Are you willing to do that? If you are you willing to handle the sex sandwich silence mode? Because that's what men are looking for. And if you are, ladies, you'll be on your road to greatness. You'll be on the road to greatness. Be a man's muse, not his headache.
You must learn your man while you earn your man. Far too many women today, you want the cheat code. Well, guess what? A lot of us young Thundercats want the cheat code of life too. But we're telling them, hey man, you got to eat shit for the next 15 years. You think a man who's had to eat shit for 15 years wants to, you just want to just sit there at the finish line saying, what do you like? No. Men ain't handling shit today because a woman is not to be handled. A woman is to be an asset to a man. Meaning, if you don't ask me what I need done, if you gotta ask me what I need done, I don't need you. If you gotta ask me, what do you want? What do you do? I like the fact that you're asking me, but I want women go from, if you need to be handled, understand something, you're gonna get a lesser man. But the women who deal with men of value, the Henry Squad, the high earners, not rich yet, my guys in the 75,000 on up, gentlemen, understand how rare you are. And let your Godfather tell you something. One thing I love hearing more than anything else is guys coming to the realization, listening to this content, to realize how rare they are, how special they are. Just because you're dealing with a chick who treats you like you're just an average guy, no. If you're in the top 10 or 15% of men, that's special. And you deserve what comes along with it. And what comes along with it is not a bunch of stuff. Ladies, ask yourself a simple question. A woman of value, a woman that is in high demand, most wanted women are like executive assistants. Executive assistants don't go to CEOs and ask them, what do you want? What do you want? What do you want? They're like Pepper Potts. They are proactive and predictive. You want a model? I got a question for you ladies. Here's one question, especially for black women. Who is your feminine role model? Who is your feminine icon? Who is the one singular woman that you point to and say, that is what I aspire to be like? If you can't answer that, I don't want to hear any shit about manifestation or vision or visualization or any of this other stuff. You cannot manifest something you can't identify. I got a video on YouTube that's uploading the Smoke Show from Instagram. Matter of fact, it should be going live after this. You cannot manifest something you can't identify. How that's supposed to work, ladies? You're just gonna manifest something and you can't identify it? You're just gonna be like, well, who's the feminine ideal? And the thing is, you have to be able to point to one woman somewhere and say, that is what a woman should be. And after that, you got to put some Pepper Potts on it. Who is Pepper Potts? Pepper Potts is the executive assistant to Tony Stark in the Marvel movies. Now, Pepper Potts went from being the executive assistant to being Tony Stark's wife. She earned her way up. Why is Pepper Potts so important in this scenario? Because when Tony Stark was a billionaire playboy philanthropist, Pepper Potts saw him vetting a bunch of beautiful women and this and that. Gentlemen, if you can't talk about your former exploits, you can't talk about your entire life in front of your woman, there's an issue. Now, that doesn't mean you have to talk about it like you're still living it, but if you have to edit yourself around your woman, she's topping from the bottom. She should be able to understand everything that it took to make you the man you are today. And that's the point I'm trying to get around ladies to understand. Men ain't handling shit. And this is so off base to where a man needs to be able to handle me. A man needs to be able to do this and that. No. We don't need to be able to handle nothing. You need to be able to handle your role. You need to know that more often than anything else, the usual smart answer is silence. Oh, shit.
Let's stop there for a second. A lot to take down, but two salient points that need to be said. Number one, a woman shouldn't be handled, number one. Shouldn't need to be handled. And no man of worth and value, worth his salt, will want to handle said woman. The fact of the matter is, a woman needs to understand her man, especially if a man of purpose, especially if a man who's considered high value, especially a man who of certain standards, status, and influence. Do you know your man well enough to be indispensable to him? Do you see his weak points and make them his strong suit? Can you come in and make your man a better man? Make yourself indispensable. If you can, guess what? It's the Pepper Potts argument. She went from an executive assistant to Tony Stark's wife. She took a man from vetting all these ladies to her being the number one. To her being the individual who has her name on titles and deeds and cars and other trappings of wealth. When a man can't do without you is the day you become a wife. But if you become a man's headache, your status changes, and soon enough men will move on. That's when you know that you are to be handled. That's when you are on your own. That's why it is for you to understand your man, ladies, because, listen, I'll say it straight, and many others will say it too. Men have had to go through life trying to understand you. Not only that, they've had to become the best person they could be, financially, spiritually, physically. And they have not come to this station in life for you to be handled. It is for you, because listen, most ladies are at the finish line. They're not there to build a man up. They're not there for the journey. They're not there for the ride. They're there at the end destination. They're there to congratulate the winners. That's why you don't see trophy girls en route during the Tour de France. They are there at the end of the race. And guess what? These men who've run that race do not want. They do not want a woman to shout at them, berate them, when they have fought so hard to be winners. They don't want women that need to be handled, that need to be muzzled, that need to be controlled. Don't want it. You should be able to control yourself, ladies. Control yourself. Let me repeat that. We should not want to control you. You should be able to control yourself. And have you literally figure out what a man needs so that not only are you a huge part of his life, you are indispensable. He can't do without you. Let's continue.
The usual smart answer is silence. What do you mean, Kevin? Well, asking the question 15 different ways when the man's already answered it, usually the answer is just accept what he said. Who has to handle who? Who has to handle who today? Oh my God, this folks is gonna get on my nerves. So what we're gonna do is switch this camera out. So, anyway, we'll get the focus straightened out later on. Who has to handle who, ladies? Is it up to men or is it up to women to understand that whatever you're doing in the work world or academic world, kudos to you. When you come through the door, all that shit means nothing. If you have a man that's in the top 20%, top 15%, top 10%, top 5%, top 3%, top 1%, then it's you that has to not only get him, but you must continue to earn him and keep him. See, many women think the race is won once you got the ring. No, that's just the beginning. This is why I think it's funny when a lot of women talk about they want a high value man and this and that. Because you think it's going to be some sort of kind of lifestyle of luxury. I'm like, you know what it means to be with a man that has to get out here and work 12, 14, 16-hour days? You know? A man who's going to do whatever he has to do to take care of his family, and his natural instinct is to put himself last, and it is for you to put him first. A man of value's natural instinct is to protect and provide. Thereby, oftentimes, men put themselves last. We'll work ourselves to death if we don't watch it. But it's for you to be like, nope, here's your doctor's appointment on this day, here's your this, or here's your that. And in order to be that, in order to be something worth being wifed, you have to be a woman that can handle that man. And it ain't your vagina. It comes standard on every woman, and it's not a selling point. Trust me. Hear your Godfather and hear me well. Hear me and hear me well. You may think you have the best in the world. It all is the same after a while. If women only realize how below spectacular your box is, if you really realize how often men fake it, because y'all couldn't really handle what we really thought. Oftentimes, we're sparing your ego, especially when you're a woman that brings very little to the table outside the bedroom. Y'all don't want to hear the truth. They don't want to hear the truth, Jerbo. They don't want to hear Jessica. They don't want to hear it. They think their box is just, oh my God. It's like, these just regular crackers. The black oyster and shrimp fondue at Papado, good. Very good. But so what? You know, we did shots of Louis the 13th yesterday. Great cognac. Great cognac. You know the buzz it gives you? Similar to any other buzz with alcohol. Ethanol is ethanol. And I am not telling women these kind of things to make you, to lower your self-esteem, but I am telling you this to helpfully humble you. Helpfully humble you, because I have bad news. Women want the top 10% of men and ain't but about 20% of women in the ballpark for these men. That means the other 80% of y'all gonna have to get in where you fit in. And I am not going to tell you to get in where you fit in with my average brothers, my average guys, and then feel like you're doing them a favor. This is why women resist rankings. Ladies, men ain't handling shit. We're not handling your attitude. We're not trying to handle you. And y'all are gonna have to handle us. We rank you. Get over it. We rank everything. And that's one of the biggest problems today. Women have stopped ranking themselves. We don't have Miss America, Miss Universe. We don't have beauty pageants to where women actually had a standard. Well, that's a male standard. You goddamn right. It comes from us because we rank things. And to keep telling us, well, it doesn't matter if she's beautiful on the inside. We ain't marrying your insides. We're marrying your outsides.
I got beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes, lamb.
Kevin. God rest your wonderful soul. Let me say this. Ladies, it's true. Everything's a participation award. Everybody's a special snowflake these days. It's true. So very true. And Kevin broke it down to you. He's looking at me the same way. He said, listen, ladies. Men, as we say, are indeed the prize. Because they have to protect, provide, and prophesize for not only themselves, but their families. Men have to be leaders in any relationship. It's true. It's true. We have to take big decisions. We have to fight the world in order for us to support our families. Now, women support as well. There's no doubt about that. But at the end of the day, men are seen to be leaders in any sort of relationship because we're the ones who put it all on the line, usually, for marriage. And what men do not want to come home to is a woman with an attitude. We don't. We don't want a woman with an attitude to come home to. If that were the case, we'd never get married. If that were the case, the institution of marriage would quickly crumble. Absolutely crumble. So, that's why, if you have any problems, listen, ladies, We'll be able to talk it out. We'll be able to work it out. But at the end of the day, don't be that headache to men that they don't need. It's counterproductive. But if you become an indispensable part of your man's life, you're the one who wins the prize. You're the one who gets the big prizes. You're the one who gets the ring on the finger. You're the one to whom men can't stop talking about. And who doesn't want that? And what lady does not want that? And what lady does not want a man that others respect? And the only way you're going to get that man is if you get on his program and his page. And not be one who needs a handling.
Rams, hogs, dogs, chicken, turkeys, rabbits, you name it.
We rank you. You have a ranking. Like it or not gonna change. All men rank women. And more men should start coming out ranking women. And if you see men saying you shouldn't rank women, punch him in the chest. Punch him in the chest to make sure he doesn't have. Because it's funny, the guys that say men shouldn't rank women tend to be men with some of the most toxic past with women. Ladies, if a man is telling you that men shouldn't rank you, your godfathers, I'm the president of the feminists. I'm the leader of the feminist movement. I'm the general feminist. I'm the feminist general. Somebody need to make me can somebody make me a logo? The feminist general. I am the 4 stars or 5 stars? What's the highest general you can get? Is it 4 stars or 5 stars? Please help me in the comment section. Is it 4 stars or 5 stars? Whichever one of those, I'm the 4 or 5 star general, feminist general. Which one is it? 4 or 5?
Let's continue that.
It's not guys that will say they're feminist just so they can try to dirty mac their way into your pants, under your skirt, ladies. I ain't gonna try to dirty mac my way into your drawers. I'm coming in the front door. I'm coming in the way I wish I would have been raised. Not indirect, but direct. This is who I am. Like it or don't like it, this is all I can be. But men who tell you what you want to hear, ladies, you need to really question their motive. Especially if they're going against the grain of the men you want. Right. Men who tell you what you want to hear, especially when they fit the archetype of the kind of man you want, and they're going against the grain of the men, you need to check that shit. They're trying to dirty mac. That'd be like me coming in and saying, what a lot of people wanted me to come in and do. Oh, yes. You're queen, Mother Seamos Gold, blah, blah, and all this ambiance and all this in a suit telling you everything you wanted to hear. Could y'all imagine what would have happened if I'd have came in on that? If I would have caught any traction. But the point is, it's not helping you. My question, ladies, if a man doesn't need to handle you, if you need to handle him, can you do it? Can you handle men today? Can you handle the kind of man you say you want? And men of value are masculine. Whatever their masculine archetype, refined, rakish, rogue, whatever their masculine archetype, they're masculine. And the one thing masculine men do not tolerate is masculine women.
That's the key. Right there. Men don't want masculine women. Men don't want wishing to be handled women. They don't want it. Never has a man wanted that. A man wants a woman to be fit, feminine, friendly, cooperative, submissive / agreeable. He wants that. He doesn't want masculine. Masculine women are women who need to be handled. I've said that before, and the man himself said it now. If you're willing to listen, he said it now. Men don't want masculine women at all. Women who want to be handled are masculine women. I saw it. We said it before on Fresh and Fit. That woman who was running her own company is a masculine woman. She wishes to be handled, yet she couldn't stand behind her statement. If you're a man, say what you mean what you say. Those who are seen as wishy-washy aren't respected. And women who are masculine aren't respected by men. They're not wanted by men. And if they get a man, chances are it's not one who they respect. Do you get this? The men who masculine women want don't want them. And the women, and the men who masculine women attract eventually are respected by them. So they end up buying a dog, dying alone.
Not in their personal life. In their professional and work life, they may deal with it because they have to. But I will tell you, there is nothing more of a turnoff or offensive to a masculine man than a masculine woman. Men often dip out on the women they're dealing with seeking femininity. And women don't like that. That's why a lot of women think that they can screw their way back into their men. So what do we got? The Esquire, the GQ, and the Bachelor phase. So think about how many women's response to, I'll keep him at home because I'll put it down on him. No. He'll take the increased sexual appetite, but understand something. There's a sexual appetite that the male mind understands, but it still needs to come from a feminine place. A lot of women want to have sex today in a way that maps to the male mind as masculine. That's why I'm going to do the video with the sexologist and have this conversation, because I think we need to have a conversation about how we look at sex and all these other things. But at the end of the day, the higher up you go with men, masculinity matters, and we sort out. You want to know what kind of man you have? Ladies, put him in a room with men of value, and then see what the men in that room think. Sadly, this is why so many women tend to want the men in the top 10%. And the thing is, only one person's gonna get the ring. Only one person's gonna get the ring. And if you gotta have a man in that level, then you better do what it takes. You better do what it takes, and it ain't none of that. He gotta handle me, and he gotta do this and do that. Y'all better stop listening to anything that's telling you what you want to hear, because ain't nobody trying to reduce their admission standards. The men we're talking about are Princeton, Yale, Harvard, Hopkins, Stanford, Berkeley, Penn. Shout out to the higher level HBCUs. Don't know them per se, but look, you just can't take everybody. All right. Hierarchy, gentlemen. privates and generals are all in the same privates, generals, whatever admirals may be in the Army, Navy, Marines, but there is a difference. And the men that I am talking to are officers and gentlemen. Shout out.
We're gonna leave it there with Kevin. Thank you very much from Kevin Samuels. I think he broke it down long enough, but let's just get to this last part because I want to get this in before we close off today. Shout out to the Godfather, R.I.P. His first anniversary of his death is coming up very, very soon. Shout out to King Onins. Shout out to all the people outside there, to Getting Hair by Glenna, and to Marcio Ryan. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live on IG and YouTube. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Sponsored by Duntalk, DUNTALK.com. Let's get to the final. I believe not you, probably. God knows, not you. We're going to get to the final piece here. And this is a challenge. Just a slight challenge to all those who consider themselves as needing to be handled. And the challenge is, can you pull men back into the dating pool? Because a lot of men are leaving. They simply don't want to deal with women who need to be handled. They simply don't want to deal with women who are masculine. And the percentage of those of dating age are increasing day by day by day. And here we have the coffee pod / Chissa Zed. Shout out to him. Go and subscribe to him, please, and thank you. And he has this. He had this show on about this post about, I don't want to date a modern woman. And he goes into a conversation with the Pod Bros that features the Pod Bros, and about how women are changing their dating habits and how men are finding it very, very disagreeable to a point where women who need to be handled are being pushed aside. Let's get into it.
Woman, don't believe me? Check it out for yourself.
There was a study called from the Pew Center Research conducted a study that said 63% of men under age 30 would rather stay home and go on a date. Men say they are getting their needs met without having to go on a date. Would men rather stay single than be with a woman? Is the question.
That's what they're saying, pretty much.
63% of men. I think they're cheap. Yeah, they just ain't got no money.
Yeah, you have a right to blow out a breath there. She's wow. If that is not a handled response that a man needs to get, the men are broke, well, the man doesn't have the man does not have the charisma or the style or the breeding to date. I don't know what is. They can't take the fact that they don't want to have to deal with women who need to be handled. They'd rather think of anything else under the sun not to. Which is why a lot of these women, especially our own women, are losing. Remember, 25% of black women, you can see it on blackdemographics.com. I just remembered that. Blackdemographics.com, coming from the U.S. Census stats for black people, black people, why only a quarter of African American women are married. Because a lot of them want to be handled. Let's continue.
Relax, Chisha, relax. Let's calm down, so let's keep watching.
I have money. You should get your money up before you start dating.
So it is cheaper to sit home and beat your meat,
right,
than actually go out and find actual women to hang out with.
That's
I
a sad
disagree.
reality.
I disagree.
Why? What do you think?
Is it what less of
What
a
do you
headache
think?
to have
Here
to
we
deal
go.
with a woman or something?
There it goes. Like, it's a headache. Now I gotta take you out. I gotta hear what you had to tell your whole day. I
That's
gotta.
why you take out people you actually like, and then you.
Where are they? Where are these pleasant women?
You don't feel that.
Yeah, but then what? I gotta get to know you first to like you, right?
Yeah.
So how do I get to know you?
Talk.
Call them. So you rather pan?
Hey, listen. I'm married.
Hey, you always gotta say.
Got these nigga
If you
problems.
wasn't married, if you wasn't married,
I'd probably be eating my meat at 100 miles an hour.
That's saying something. That's actually very damning. That a man would rather masturbate than take out a woman these days. 63% of men polled under 30 would rather stay home, watch porn, and masturbate than take out a woman these days. Then deal with a woman who wishes to be handled. Then deal with a masculine woman. That's saying something. That is damning. A married man has to say, if he wasn't married, he'd be one of these gentlemen. And he was under 30, he'd be one of these gentlemen. I would have to say, although it's not my tendency myself, but with the way dating is these days, that sometimes it is easier to beat your meat than to deal with a modern woman. Sorry, ladies. Your act is running thin. And what you're going to find out is, as we go along, you're going to be a lot more single ladies out there if you keep up with this attitude. This whole handled attitude. You need to, no man can handle you. Well, no man wants to handle you. And it's seen right here in this study, in this poll. What's it now? It's 2/3, yes. 2/3 of gentlemen would rather not deal with you. They'd rather go at it alone. Because they don't need the attitude and they don't need the headache. Just saying.
Oh, my dude said 100 miles an hour. Yo, I'm hella weak, man. Yeah, man, you hear this all the time. Here's the problem with these type of videos where they talk about, like, men are choosing to not take women out, so instead, what are they resorting to? Well, they're watching PORN, right? They try to shame men a lot of times in these type of situations and make it sound like this crisis is because men are failing to be real men. And it's almost like women forget that men love women. Yeah, you see the content all around talking about modern women this, and there's this discussion about where things are going in the dating market right now, but men love women. Men watch adult content to watch women. And when I say men love women, they love the presence of a pleasant woman. They love seeing the body of a woman. They enjoy spending time with women. And so in this conversation, we just saw this group of people had, the guy who's married said, hey, so why would I want to take you out and listen to all your problems and, you know, you complaining, etc.? And she said, well, that's why you take somebody that you like. Could it be, could women possibly entertain the idea that most of them aren't pleasant to be around? Would you guys say, honestly speaking, who's more pleasant? The average man who you run across with in the streets and you want to maybe spark a conversation and just say, hey, how are you doing? Or the average woman? Are modern women today pleasant, or are they generally given a pass to be unpleasant, to carry themselves like you're not a joy to be around, and they look like they need a cup of coffee, but they don't want to go grab a cup of coffee because it's too much work.
I just don't really want to do that. That's just.
Yeah. He's right. Ladies, are women these days agreeable or disagreeable? Are they a joy to be around, or are they a nightmare to deal with? As men are saying these days, it's actually the latter. They're a nightmare to deal with. Especially women of the developed world. Western Europe, North America. Much more of a headache to deal with. Depends on the area and circumstance, but that's why you get a lot of guys trying to find a different space in order to find women, because too many women these days want to be handled rather than be a lady to their men. Rest in their feminine. And men are voting with their feet and hands. Hands, ladies. They'd rather have Mr. Palmerston handle business than you. Do you understand this? That's how bad it's getting.
Too much work.
But in general, what I've noticed is women aren't that pleasant. Women aren't that pleasant nowadays, and that's just the truth. And men are getting to the point where the juice isn't worth the squeeze, right? They're also getting to the point where, like, this isn't, I'm not getting the value that I think I should be getting for the amount of work I have to do to conversate, take a woman out on a date, and try to figure out, is she just kind? Is she a kind person? You know, let alone nurturing, feminine, and all those other things. For example, guys, take a look at this interview that I saw a long time ago. I just didn't get a chance to show it to you guys. It's this guy is doing like the street interview thing, but he's asking women what they would say to their ex. And look at the different responses between the women and the men. Let's check it out.
If you could say one thing to your ex, what would it be?
Fuck you, have fun pissing in your bed.
I'd say hello. I hope you are doing well, and I hope your family's doing well, and I'm happy for whatever's going your way.
To my ex.
Do you notice the difference, ladies? Let me repeat that to you. Hold on, I'm coming back. Let's try that again. Please listen out for the difference in responses between women and men who are speaking of their exes and the one thing they will say. This is going to be my final point before I reach the end of the show. I'll bring it to a conclusion to the show tonight. But listen to their responses, ladies. These are women who want to be handled. It's an example of women who want to be handled. Let's go there. Let's hear it.
Responses between the women and the men. Let's check it out.
If you could say one thing to your ex, what would it be?
Fuck you, have fun pissing in your bed.
I'd say hello. I hope you are doing well, and I hope your family's doing well, and I'm happy for whatever's going your way.
To my ex.
I just received a comment here. Equality, every gender is same. No! I'm just showing you the difference right here. Thank you very much for the comment. Let me say that. But no! Did you just hear what I just played for you there? Men would rather see the best for their exes, have them go off in a polite way and hope they find happiness with someone else. Wish only the best for them. Where women wish wish holy hell upon them. Women equal to men. No. Hold on, Miss Chowdhury. Again, go back and replay what we're doing here because you're slightly out of context here. Hello, Emil. How are you? That is what we're dealing with here. All women not the same. Absolutely not. You're absolutely right on that one, Ms. Chowdhury. Absolutely right on that. Not all women are the same, but there are more women like this these days, modern women, who wish to be handled than you would a woman who rests in her feminine. Because a woman who rests in her feminine would never say stuff like this. But wait, there's more. Hold on.
Fuck that nigga.
I'm saying.
Fuck that nigga. Fuck both of them. Suck a
I appreciate you. Thank you for everything. I mean, it sucks that it didn't work out. You know, we were at 2 different points in our life. I mean, that's just what it comes down to. I hope she's doing well. Hope the relationship she's in now, that her and her boyfriend are, you know, doing wonderful things. Sucks it didn't work out, but I mean, that's just life. You know, you just gotta move on.
All right, guys, there you go.
Are we getting this now? What you just heard are women who want to be handled. Women are changing nowadays and want to be independent. Well, if you want to be independent, you're going to choose to be alone. And if you want to be alone, so be it. Men are voting with their feet now. They're not dealing with women anymore. The fact of the matter is, women have always needed a man's protection, provision, and prophecy. That goes without saying. It's gone through time immemorial. And remember, society isn't built without a man's input. They build the skyscrapers, they build the infrastructure, they do the dangerous and dirty jobs, they do the STEM that moves society forward. So, even though you're independent, you still need men to foster any society. So I thank you for that. Women can be in army and police because they... I mean, we can go into this. That's a different subject, but needless to say, there are incentives, there are lower standards that allow women into these police forces, because if they had to be held to men's standards, there'd be no women in it. Sorry. True. But that's the truth. No men also changing a small... I don't know what this is. You gotta... We're gonna move on. But I thank you very much for the comments, to be fair and frank. But, again, let's get that straight. Let's go back to the topic here and what we heard from the ladies. And what women who are handled sound like. Do they sound like women that men want to be around? Let's answer that question. Let's ask that question before we sign off here. Do they sound like women that men want to be around? I say no. Some men can do without women. No, listen. You didn't catch the poll that I just said. 63% of men aged 18 to 30 would rather beat their meat than go out on a date with a woman. So what you said there, Ms. Chowdhury, I thank you for the comment. Some men can do without women. Ha 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 ha. A lot of men are doing without women. They're choosing to walk away. They don't want to deal with women. They don't want their attitudes. They don't want their high standards. They don't want their attitudes and needing to be handled. They're walking away from it. They're walking away from it. Or they're flying somewhere else to find feminine women. They don't want masculine women anymore. They're telling you that. They don't want women to be handled. So let's sum this up. Let's bring it to a conclusion. Yes, indeed. I'll let my man Chisa give his final comment, and then we're gonna wrap up.
And then my final question is: do you guys think men today are generally just a lot more kind than the average woman? It could that explain why most men don't think the juice is worth the squeeze. Plus, there's this other thing of you go online, you watch, that movie, and you choke your chicken, you jack off, and all of a sudden, you don't want to go on that date anymore. I remember I had a conversation about this on the Pod Bros. Check this out. This was pretty funny.
And I remember hearing these stories in, I think it was Japan, of these guys who would rather jack off and watch porn than actually have sex with the woman.
Yeah. And I'm not gonna lie, it's happened to me before where like I would have
diss on the women over there.
No. Like, it's like for example, like I would have like a date lined up, like I was a single guy, and I would have a date lined up with a young lady, and then I would masturbate at home, and I'd be like, you know what? I don't want to go on this date anymore. And then I'd be like, hey, like we're gonna have to rain check. You know what I mean? It's like, what the.
I see clearly, bro.
Like that's like the no.
My question is, why did you jack off before the date? Didn't you see that coming? Like,
just because I just wanted to chill. I didn't want to be attacking this young girl.
That was a pretty funny pod.
Again, there's something about Marry Excuse. I mean, if you've ever seen that movie, you know the scenes that we're talking about here. But as Amil said here, blow-up dolls and AI dolls are on the rise. Yeah. Because men would rather not deal with the real thing, or they don't have the capability to deal with the real thing, or they don't have the bandwidth to deal with the real thing anymore. They don't. They simply don't. They'd rather move forward with it. They'd rather do it on themselves, do it on their own, do it by themselves. And remember, there will come a day when women will need a man's help. Let me just get back to the main screen here, and let's just sum this up. Let's just sum this up right here. Getting back to my full cam. We're going to finish this up. It's 11 o'clock. Ladies, you've heard from Fresh and Fit. You've heard from Andrew Tate. You've heard from Kevin Samuels. And now you've heard from Coffee Pod. And it's pretty unanimous. Men don't want women who need to be handled. They don't want it. They don't need it. They'd rather walk away from it. They'd rather do without it. They'd rather not go on dates for it. So no matter how much you name us or shame us, we don't care. Men don't care anymore. They don't care. You sucked the living life out of them. And as Chisa said in that podcast, men are these days are nicer than women. Because not only do we have the attitude of wishing our exes well going forward, which I do myself. I do wish my exes well going into other relationships. I don't know how they feel about me, but I do wish them well. But it's come to a point where men are nicer than women these days. They are nicer than women. Women have taken masculinity to such a point where they have become slightly sinister, slightly evil, slightly vindictive. And it is deterring men from seeking women in the first place. And as Amel's saying, blow-up dolls and AI dolls are on the rise these days. Men would rather be at home and watch corn. They'd rather watch corn than deal with some of your attitudes. Now, I am not one of those things because, again, I have the gift of gab and a certain attitude that allows me to deal adeptly with, you handled females. But a lot of men don't. And as you saw by the poll, 63% of men 18 to 30 would rather not. They'd rather stay at home and beat their meat. So there's a disconnect. And who caused the disconnect, ladies? Unfortunately, with the womanist feminist gynocracy out there, emasculation of men, and the tempering down of the male aesthetic in the developed world, where it is frowned upon then exalted, men are turning away from women these days. They're turning away. And the only way to stop this is if, ladies, you made yourselves accountable and said to yourselves, hey, we got to stop this. It's high time we did, because there's a certain amount of men out there, and if you don't smarten up, either they'll get the women from somewhere else, or they'll just cast themselves aside. They'll just take themselves out of the market altogether. And you don't want that, ladies. You do not want to be those ladies without male protection and provision. You don't want to be that. Life becomes nasty, brutish, and short if that were the case. Let me say that. Not only that, but your kids, if you do have them, shot at a better life is further curtailed without a man being there, as we've already gone to in Talk Live. So please do not wish yourselves to be handled, ladies, because it serves no purpose for you and makes life that much more difficult for you, despite the fact that you wish to be handled in a special way by a special man that isn't coming anytime soon. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live on IG and YouTube. We are going to leave it there. We're at the 2-hour mark. I was supposed to make it an hour, but again, it went a little far. But anyways, thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live on IG and YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Great show. We had a good amount of comments at the end there. Thank you very much for everyone joining me tonight, and look forward to seeing you on Thursday night. We'll be back on Thursday night, and again, more material to come, especially my Instagram material, which I am way behind on, and I'm going to get on to this week. I just keep on saying it, but I keep on believing it that it's going to happen, and a few more changes are coming along the way, including more shorts. Shorts. I got to get with my shorts guy. Pause. Got to go with my short. Pause. Got to go with my the guy who does my pause shorts, and make sure that they are distributed to the masses, especially some new ones along the way. But thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live on IG and YouTube. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, sponsored by Duntalk, DUNTALK.com. And finally, just in regards to this, designed by my nephew for the Pinball Clemens Foundation. I thought it was a fantastic design. But just to let you know that this is the moon here, this is the sun here. These are 3 mountains. The 3 mountains are supposed to represent 3 obstacles, 3 major obstacles one has in one's life. And again, it says here, we will make it. So we'll make it through the obstacles under the moon and the sun. And there it is. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live. We gave you that quick explanation of the artwork. And I thank you very much for joining me. And we'll be back again on Thursday night. And if you talk, walk the walk, thank you very much and good night from Toronto, my Instagram people. And to my, let me just make sure I got this here, and to my YouTube viewers, okay guys, thank you. And to my YouTube viewers, thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live. We are back again on Thursday nights. Thank you for your input, thank you for your commentary, thank you for your comments. Comment down below about this subject if you feel passionate about it. Would love to hear your comments. And tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. We're back again on Thursday nights. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live, sponsored by Duntalk, DUNTALK.com. Again, the artwork is the three mountains here that representing three major obstacles one must get through in life under the moon and sun there. And again, it is a sign of saying that we will make it. And this is for the Pinball Clemens Foundation, which was designed by my nephew, actually, of whom I am well pleased and very proud of. So thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live on IG and YouTube. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, and don't think about taking this design away because it's already been commissioned. I appreciate that. Good night from Toronto, and we'll see you